It's been a while and a lot of people have been asking, so we're going to bring back 4th and 10. A former 5-star is done at USC, plus the latest realignment news surrounding the Pac-12. All that more on today's episode of 4th and 10. 4 college football stories in just around 10 minutes. Now, let's go for it. Before we get into today's video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel, so make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. Well, it looks like former 5-star defensive lineman Bear Alexander will be searching for his 3rd program this offseason. According to multiple reports, the USC defensive lineman won't be playing the rest of the season and is planning to redshirt. According to 24/7 Sports, Alexander wasn't at practice on Wednesday after he practiced on Tuesday. Alexander informed Lincoln Riley of his intention to redshirt on Wednesday. Following USC's loss this weekend to Michigan, Alexander played in only 21 of 58 defensive snaps. Alexander tweeted this out following the game, which began to cause a lot of speculation on social media with his future at the program. Today at practice, Lincoln Riley was asked about Bear Alexander, and it sure sounded like he was intending on him to remain with the program, but I guess things can change pretty quickly.
Yeah, he played over a third of the game, so I mean, people want to act like the guy's not playing snaps. He's doing a good job for us out here. He's getting better. There's no story there. I mean, I know you guys are looking for one. Like, there's no story there. The guy's out here working hard. He's improving. He's in a new system with a new coach. He's getting better. I think he's going to continue to get better. It should be hard to play D-line at USC. Like, it ought to be kind of hard. Like, if it's not, it wasn't hard last year, and that's why we weren't very good up there. You know what? We're pretty decent up there, and it's hard, and the margins are thin. So sometimes it's not what somebody's not doing. It's competitive, and there's tough decisions to make every week. But if you see guys out on the field, then we are excited about what they're doing on the practice field and believe that they give us a chance to win. Go look at the last snap of the game, see who's on the field. And so there's no story there. Guy's getting better. He needs to keep improving, and I'm confident that he will with the coaching that he has and the room that we have in there.
Alexander's redshirt leaves USC with 4 interior defensive linemen who have played in all 3 of USC's games so far this season. However, if you were to ask a lot of Trojans fans, they would probably tell you that not having Bear Alexander out there is actually going to be an upgrade for the defense. Alexander transferred to USC from Georgia after he won the national championship with the Bulldogs in 2022 as a true freshman. A year ago, Alexander played the most snaps of any Trojan defensive lineman with 660. He also started 12 of 13 games and made 47 tackles. But so far this year, Alexander hasn't started any of USC's 3 games. He's also made only 5 tackles while averaging 23 defensive snaps per game. Last year, he was averaging 50 snaps per game. Tony Jones, who Alexander calls his father, confirmed to ESPN that Alexander doesn't plan on playing the rest of the season and is going to preserve a year of eligibility, but he says that Alexander plans to remain at USC and continue practicing. We made clear what our goals are. That goal is to be a full-time starter and leader on the defense like we came there to be. If Bear not being a starter and playing 35 or 40 snaps a game isn't in the best interest of the team, we need to do something different. This was a family decision. It came down to Bear and what he wants to do and the goals he set for himself. We sat down as a family and carved out a plan to get there. It's been quite the journey so far for Bear Alexander. If I remember correctly, he played at like 4 different high schools before he ended up at Georgia, but his recruitment process was a little messy as he was going back and forth. He committed to Georgia, then decommitted, then recommitted there. Then he transferred to USC, and now he's ending back up in the transfer portal. So wherever he ends up this offseason, I guess best of luck. To that team, that is. Alright, let's switch things over to the latest going on with the Pac-12 and all the crazy realignment. As of right now, they have 7 teams, but they still need to add at least 1 more to get to that 8-team requirement to be in the playoff discussion. Well, it looks like they're going to have to keep looking, as both Air Force and UNLV are expected to remain in the Mountain West. Both of these schools were incentivized to stay with significant financial packages that were made possible in part because of the collective exit fees by the conference's 5 departing members that left for the Pac-12. Those 5 programs are expected to pay roughly $8 million each to depart. So just like that, money was available for both UNLV and Air Force. UNLV chose to remain in the Mountain West despite a strong push from the Pac-12, and Air Force received heavy interest from the American Athletic Conference as well. With both of these pledges, the Mountain West now stands at 7 programs, and they'll need to add a couple more members as well. Now, this Air Force move doesn't really surprise me, but I'm actually quite surprised that UNLV didn't want to join the Pac-12. Even when the original Pac-12 conference was still alive, I always thought they'd want to add UNLV so they could add that Las Vegas market. Well, I guess the Pac-12 isn't what it once was, and this huge package from the Mountain West was just too good to pass up. The Pac-12 is now expected to turn its attention outside of Mountain West programs because Hawaii, New Mexico, Nevada, San Jose State, and Wyoming are all expected to stay in the Mountain West as well. This all comes a day after the Pac-12 filed a lawsuit in federal court challenging the legality of a poaching penalty included in a football scheduling agreement it signed with the Mountain West last December. As part of the agreement, the Mountain West included language that requires the Pac-12 to pay a fee of $10 million if a school left the Mountain West for the Pac-12, with escalators of $500,000 for each additional school. With the 5 departures, the total the Mountain West says it should be paid stands at $55 million. Sadly for the Pac-12, these aren't the only schools who have turned down the conference this week, as Memphis, Tulane, South Florida, and UTSA all passed on offers to join the Pac-12, but remained in the American Conference. The Pac-12 isn't what it once was, so I get why all these programs are choosing to remain at their current conferences. Now, a team that is making a surprising push to potentially join the Pac-12 is Sacramento State, who is currently an FCS team. The school is making a push to build a brand new football and basketball stadium, that way they're able to meet the Pac-12 guidelines. Sacramento State alum and city council member Eric Guerra is going all in to support construction on these 2 projects. A new Sacramento State study shows that the school will need to build a new football stadium at an estimated cost of $300 million, and their new basketball arena would cost an estimated $250 million. This opportunity, I think, is once in a lifetime for the university because the Pac-12 is trying to stay on the West Coast. This is different because I see this as an opportunity to grow our institutions and create more opportunities for other kids. As of right now, financing the proposed construction costs would have to come from Sacramento student fees and a network of alumni and boosters. The final piece of Pac-12 news isn't really anything that's close at the moment, it's just kind of a rumor right now. Both Texas State and UTEP are considering moves to the Pac-12. Now, I don't know how serious they are about it or how badly the Pac-12 would want them, but considering which teams are remaining, these 2 schools might be the Pac-12's best bet to at least get them to 8. If they add both of these programs and Sacramento State, that would give them 10, and we'd finally have the old Pac-10 again. Overall, I think adding these teams would actually make for a pretty interesting conference. Plus, if they actually try and get Stanford and Cal back from the ACC, we'd have 12 teams and that conference would be ready to roll. Well, that wraps it up for today's episode of 4th and 10. What are your thoughts on how the Pac-12 is starting to shape out? Which teams do you think they should try and add next? Also, where do you think Bear Alexander is going to end up next year? Do you want your school to try and pick him up this off season? Whatever your thoughts are on all these topics, let me know in the comment section down below. Before you leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting college football videos all season long, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that confusing YouTube algorithm that nobody understands, but it does help share this video and my channel with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you all in my next video.